you just kind of your opening thoughts on the game, and obviously the penalty shootout, and then we'll prompt the fellas here to raise their hands if they have any questions, and then they'll ask them and it'll come through on your computer. So first, yeah, just walk us through what that was like and your thoughts on the performance tonight.
I mean, I thought the game was definitely ours to have. I think even though we went down and we conceded first, I think we obviously didn't give up the fight. And I mean, we put a beautiful goal in the back of the net, and I think we created a lot of chances where we could have put away a second. But I mean, at the end of the day, at least we were able to go out there, hold a shot out in the second half, work to create those chances, even though it's nicer to put one in the back of the net. I think creating the chances are still a positive. So I think you definitely can't fault our work ethic and our effort. So I mean, definitely happy overall to come out, and then obviously winning the shootout is fantastic. So to come out with points there, even though it doesn't move us forward, I think great result from the girls.
Questions, guys?
Yeah, Jordyn, I guess that is kind of a weird balance in that you guys don't advance to the next round, but the way you won coming back and then winning in PKs after losing in PKs, for the group, does it still feel like a solid victory despite not advancing, considering the way you had to win?
Yeah, I mean, obviously too, with the way that the setup is I think we still technically win the group, but we don't advance. So it's kind of unfortunate the way that plays out. But I also could be mistaken there, but I am pretty sure that's how it shakes out with points. But yeah, I mean, to come back, I think is always a positive. It's something that we really pride ourselves on then if we do concede in the first half to hold a shutout in the second and really make sure that we're putting in top effort to get in the attack and put quality chances on frame and make a goalkeeper make a save. So, and then I mean, obviously too, having people step up and put PKs in the back of the net is something that you always want to see out of a group, because I think obviously it's something you don't get to do often. So when you do get the chance, might as well make the most of it. And I think that's what we did tonight, which is awesome.
Yeah, speaking of stuff you don't get to do offense, your second game of the year, and you did a penalty shootout.
Yeah.
And
Gotta
you
love
saved
it, right?
two of them, which ended up winning the shootout. So just talk about your preparation for that. How long has it been since you faced a shootout, and how much work have you done building up to this?
My last shootout was, who knows, at some point in college, probably like my senior year of college was maybe the last one I faced. But we've been working on PKs all week in training, or all weeks in the tournament. We'll end prepping into each match going into PKs at the end of training. So I've been seeing a handful after every session, and I study up on a lot of film, obviously too, to try to prepare myself the best that I can from people that have taken PKs for Orlando in the past. But ultimately, just being able to trust my instincts and blend the study with my personal approach to it. So felt nice to make a couple saves. It's fun. I love shootouts. I think it's a fun atmosphere for a goalkeeper.
You looked like you were having fun with the crowd behind you.
Yeah,
too.
maybe just a little, I just always think, you know what, if they can yell at me all game, I get one opportunity, two opportunities to maybe turn around and talk back. Might as well have some fun with it. But that's what I love PK shootouts for. Like, all the attention is on you, and they can yell at me all they want, and then it's my time to shine, and I'm gonna just turn around and say, keep it coming, please. I love it.
I'm glad you love it because it looks absolutely terrifying. So I would not want any part of that. Jordyn, you've had a really interesting journey back, and forgive me because I don't think we've really gotten a chance to talk to you much about what happened last year and your recovery since then. How would you describe what it's been like to work back to getting opportunities, and then to even have a moment like tonight where you make big saves and even in PKs to help your team get a win?
Yeah, I mean, so my injury last year was pretty grueling, if I'm being completely honest. I had a herniated disc that pinched a nerve in my back and made my left leg go numb a lot, and like kind of seized up. So it's not like it wasn't a super light thing, and the recovery process was pretty painful, and very slow, and a lot of patience was required, which was new for me. I'd never had to have like a season ending injury before. So I think it forced me to grow in a lot of ways that I didn't necessarily want to have to learn to grow in, but ultimately I think it gave me a whole new appreciation for everything that I get to do every day. And I think I just have been able to kind of keep that joy of being back on the field throughout the year this year, because having it taken away from me last year was horrible. And it was one of the toughest years of my life. So to be able to be back, be on the field every day with such an amazing group, I just honestly feel blessed every day. And I try to keep that as like how I play, like play free, play with joy. And yeah, I just work my butt off, because you never know when you're not going to be able to anymore.
Yeah, I remember Kim Yorker in last year being particularly frustrated about that incident after it happened, and I can't imagine how you felt. However much you're comfortable sharing about, you know, the way that played out, the play-by-play of how it happened and how you felt afterwards, you know, would love that insight from you on that.
For how I got injured.
Yes, yeah, some of the, like, was it a goal that fell on you? Was that how it happened?
No,
This was
well,
two-
yes,
this
that
was
was
two
2 years
injuries
ago.
ago.
2 years
Actually,
ago,
I've been a
okay.
little unlucky.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think I was
2 years
mixing one
ago
up.
in
Okay,
Kansas
okay.
City, I got hurt because a goal fell on me. This happened, we're not really sure.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
Okay.
it ended up happening from a weight room incident, but I think there were issues leading into it
All
beforehand.
right, just making sure. Yeah, because the one from 2 years ago was crazy, and I was like,
Yeah, that one was wild. That's a really fun thing to have on my resume, though. So I might only have 2 games under my belt, but I also have 1 goal fallen on. So
yeah, that's a big category to lead the NWSL.
pretty good rap sheet. Not
Yeah.
too many other people can say it. So
I'm
you
gonna
know
look
what?
that up on a
Something.
Soccer Reference after this is over. It'll be good.
So Jordyn, there's a lot of rotation in the starting 11 tonight, obviously yourself included, but can you talk a little bit about how cohesive the team is, that communication can still be strong, you can still work together so well when you don't have as many minutes together on the field in game time?
Yeah, I think one thing that we do have working in our favor is just that in training, we work at our tactics so much that like we really get the opportunity to build that in during the week, even though I know it can't replicate an entire season's worth of playing next to somebody. I think the day to day though, too, of like, you know, being on mixed teams for different drills and different small sided and whatever, you really do feel comfortable playing almost with anybody. And then it's just whether or not, you know, you step into that role and understand how the person beside you or in front of you wants to be communicated to, and just doing that to your best ability. So it really, I think training really preps us well for it. And we have such a cohesive group that there's a lot of trust amongst each other too. So that's obviously a fantastic foundation.
Anything else, guys?
Good.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Jordyn.
Jordyn.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jordan. Appreciate it.
Great game.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yep.